Hi guys, this is Martha the dog trainer from Kim's Canine Training Center. I'm here today to talk to you about kids and dogs and how we can give you some fun ideas on how they can interact safely and still have a good time doing it. Now, you guys know that the age of your kids and the maturity of your kids makes a huge difference in how they can interact with your dog. If you're looking at kids like babies and toddlers, I myself have a 2-year-old, you're dealing a lot with personal space issues. Maybe sometimes the kids get overwhelmed because the puppy's too energetic, or the puppy gets overwhelmed because the kid's too energetic. I know I have some days where I have to constantly stop my 2-year-old from grabbing my hound dog's tail. Things like that. We're constantly monitoring them when they're little like that. Or if you have older kids, teenagers, tweenagers, kids that, they want to be involved with the dog, they want to do something with the dog, something more similar to what we would do with the dog, I definitely recommend getting them a trick training book where they can teach the dog their own tricks, working on obedience with them. If your dog is obedience trained, show your teenagers how to do that. They want to be involved. If they want to be involved, then have them help with those things, because they're certainly old enough to be able to do those things with your dog and grow a better relationship of respect with them. For the kids that are in between, right, in between the 2-year-old and the teenager, there's a couple games that you guys can bring out to work with. Besides the puzzle games and the treats and the other things that we're showing you how to do over these few weeks at home, here are some games that your kids can play that don't take a lot of mental effort on the kids' part, but can certainly keep them busy with the dog and safe with the dog and keep the dog's brain working. The first one is the Lunge Whip game. You can get a Lunge Whip at any tack and feed store. This is actually just a horse Lunge Whip. You can probably get one online right now, actually. We got this for like 10 bucks, so they're not that expensive. They're really easy to find. And really all you're gonna do is tie a plastic bag to the end. You don't want to tie a toy or a treat or anything that's going to hurt the dog, but something like a grocery bag is perfect. You want it to be light enough that if the dog gets a hold of it, the bag will rip. If a couple pieces fall off, that's not a big deal, because really what's going to happen is the bag is going to flutter around like a bird. And if you have a dog that is a particularly birdy dog, if they're a hunting breed or a retrieving breed, then they're probably going to get into this game more than some of the other breeds. But any dog with any bit of prey drive will probably get a kick out of this game. And now I'm going to show you the right way to introduce it, because you want to introduce it slowly to your dog and then make it more and more difficult. Always make sure your dog has the chance to catch the bag sometimes, because if he thinks that there's no chance of winning the game, he's not going to want to play the game. So this is the right way to introduce it. And this is the wrong way to introduce it. Again, once your dog gets really good at the game, then you can just let your kids have that in the backyard, in the house, wherever you feel comfortable with them playing a game. And some dogs will just die to get after that bag, and have a really good time doing it. Hide and seek is a really great game to play, and you can teach your dog to find everybody in the house by name. So if you have kids, of course, you would be known as mom or dad, but then your kids can be known by name. So I tried introducing this with my 2-year-old. Patty, okay, come here. Get right here. Okay, I'm gonna hide behind the curtain. Daddy, you have to hide behind the curtain. You're just gonna give him a treat. Give Solomon the treat. Give it to Solomon. Good job. Yay! Good job. Oops. All right. He didn't quite get it. He's not quite old enough for this game, which is fine. But any of your kids that are older than that toddler age range that can figure out how to play this game, it won't be hard to do. Your dog's gonna really love it. All you need to do is you need to have your child hide behind a curtain or something that's pretty easy at first and have a treat ready to go. Once they're in their hiding place, tell them to call for the dog. On the other side of the room, you're gonna hold the dog back and get him really excited and say, my son's name is Anthony. Where's Anthony? Where's Anthony? Where's Anthony? Do you wanna get Anthony? Where's Anthony? Over and over and over again. Get him really excited within sight of where your child is hiding so that the dog clearly sees the child and the child is calling for the dog and the whole thing is just building tension so the dog's really excited to race over and get the treat from your kid. Once you've done that a couple times, you release the dog, they get the treat, the kid praises him like he's the best thing in the world, and then we do it again a few times, right? Then you start to make it a little bit more difficult. So this time, I would have your child hide completely behind the curtain, or even behind a chair or something. Something that's easy enough, right? That the dog could still get him pretty quickly, and he's still calling for the dog. You don't want to make it too challenging too quickly. Once your dog starts to get the game, and you've made it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more difficult, and a little bit more difficult every time you've played it, eventually you'll get to the point where you're hanging out in the living room. You tell your child to go and hide in the bathroom. And then you look at the dog and you say, "Where's Anthony?" And the dog says, "Anthony, that's right." And he'll go running out using his nose and his brain to search for your child through the house. It's such a fun game. And your kids can play this with the dog outside. They can play it in the house. They can have the dog work to find them. And it's just a lot of fun. Keep in mind, guys, and this is a statistic that you have heard us give if you've been to our puppy classes or our obedience classes and we've talked about kids. 77% of children bitten by dogs are bitten by dogs that they know, right? So it's the family pet or grandma's dog or the neighbor dog down the street, right? Keep in mind that personal space is key. If your dog feels respected by your child and your child feels respected by your dog, they're gonna have an awesome relationship they're gonna remember for the rest of their life. Remember, guys, this is the dog that your child is going to always say, "Yep, that's the dog I grew up with," and you want those to be good memories. So really, really, really push for your child to respect your dog's personal space. Teach your dog to be tolerant of things, because especially with like a toddler in the house, you're not always going to catch him right away and get him off of the dog. But if you teach your dog to be a little bit more tolerant and you're always teaching your child to be respectful of the dog's space and you're with them all the time, you will be able to teach them to have a great relationship. Teach them games like the Lunge Whip game and the hide and seek game and doing tricks and obedience so that they can build such a relationship of respect that they have an awesome growing up together. And then your child can really say, "Yeah, that dog I grew up with, that was the best dog of my life. And we survived the COVID-19 pandemic together." I hope you guys are having fun and staying safe. Thanks so much.